Hello, Internet. It is I, the Malik Aaron, and welcome back to the channel. Part 121. Not even 12, no, 6. Not even 6 hours after I filmed and uploaded the last canceled episode. Here we are again on the same day. I'm sorry, but the news just refuses to pause. It refuses to take a break. So I gotta talk about it. And this video is going to be a mix of stuff that's been announced today, but also stuff that I kind of glossed over that happened yesterday. So, yeah. Let's get started. So, the one announcement of the four that actually has a release date, it revolves around the Barbie movie, the movie we all wanted so badly. Hmm. Yeah, the Margot Robbie Barbie movie. It now has a date, July 21st, 2023. So 2023 is getting even more packed, as you can see. And the movie that was originally had that date was Coyote versus Acme, but that movie is now undated. It's now in the ether for the time being. So yeah, like who knows what will happen to that? But now Barbie has taken its place. Now Barbie, I don't need to explain to you what Barbie is. It's self-explanatory. You all know what a Barbie is. Like the most popular doll line in history, I would imagine. Uh, Apparently the plot revolves around a doll living in Barbie Land is expelled for not being perfect enough. Okay, who sets off an adventure in the real world. Oh God, this just screams. This screams early 2000s movie. This plot just screams that. It almost sounds like Enchanted. If anyone remembers that movie, I hope you do. That movie is really good. Reminds me of that where Amy Adams, she's like in an animated world, and then something causes her to show up in the real world. And it reminds me of that. And this movie's been in development for ages, man. Like I've been hearing about a Barbie movie for like years. Apparently, it was originally at Sony and had like people like Anne Hathaway and Amy Schumer circling the project. Thank Christ we never got that Amy Schumer Barbie movie. That would have been the worst movie possibly of all time. So thank God that never happened. At least we got Margot Robbie, someone who's actually, talented. But it's not just that. My boy Ryan Gosling is Ken in this movie, which is just so weird. And we got a bunch of people in here. We got Will Ferrell, Simu Liu, Shang-Chi, America Ferrera, Kate McKinnon, Michael Cera, Ezra Ray. I'm like, what even is this? This sounds like the most bizarre movie that, no joke, I wouldn't watch this in the theater because it'd be kind of embarrassing. But if it hits HBO Max, then sure, why not? At least I won't have to deal with that embarrassment. Because this movie sounds like some weird ass fever dream. Now that I think about it. So yeah, so summer 2023, we might have a real winner here with the Barbie movie. Now we just need to see like some footage. Like once we see footage and once we see what this movie really looks like, then I believe the internet is going to have a field day with it. So, yeah, that's the Barbie movie. Now, three more things happened. I'm about to show you what they are now. So, this happened earlier today. The Batman 2 is happening with Matt Reeves returning and Robert Pattinson returning. And when I first heard this announcement, I was like, no shit, this is happening. Like, come on now. I mean, the Batman came out last month. was a massive deal. It was the first Warner Brothers movie to not deal with the whole HBO Max experiment shenanigans. It was theatrical only. Had a lot of hype. First live action solo Batman movie in a decade. Made a lot of money. $760 million worldwide is nothing to sneeze at. Not to mention, it did really well on HBO Max when it dropped last week. So yeah, this should not surprise anyone. Of course, this was getting a sequel. Why wouldn't this get a sequel? They teased a sequel showing off this movie's universe's Joker, right? So I imagine that's going to be the next step for the Batman 2 or whatever it's going to be called. So, yeah, and I imagine this is going to come out 2024. I think maybe 2025, depends on how long it takes, or like how long, I don't know. It should be between 2 to 3 years. We'll see the sequel to this, and I'm looking forward to it because I really enjoyed the Batman. I mean, I thought it was great, visually spectacular. It had like the right tone, right everything for me. It checked all the boxes for me when it comes to like not just a good superhero movie, but a good Batman movie, and just a good movie in general. So yeah, I'm excited about this. I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see where it goes. So yeah, that's the Batman 2. Now, to the two things that happened yesterday that I didn't really talk about all that much. First up, we got another Ghostbusters movie. The fifth movie in the series. Well, the fourth chronologically, because Ghostbusters 2016 is just segmented off into its own bubble where it should stay. That movie is like the DMC Devil May Cry of movie reboots, where if you don't get it, like Devil May Cry is a series by Capcom. You have Devil May Cry 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then they made DMC Devil May Cry. It was very controversial, wasn't all that great, wasn't a big hit, so they made Devil May Cry 5 and just ignored the DMC. That's what Sony is pretty much doing with Ghostbusters 2016. They just pushed it away, and now I'm assuming it's going to be a direct sequel to Afterlife, which did pretty decent overall. I mean, sure, it made less money than Ghostbusters 2016, but the thing is, it was a lot cheaper than it. So, you know, the bar for success wasn't as so high, and plus it got a pretty good reception overall. So it makes sense they would want to keep going with this new cast. So, but it says like no talent attachments were revealed. Although I imagine it's going to be a sequel to Afterlife with like the new generation of Ghostbusters. That's what I think is going to happen. It only makes sense. So yeah, this announcement, I was just like, I'm kind of surprised they didn't announce it sooner. Like some movies, they literally announce a sequel like the weekend of the movie's release. So I guess they just wanted to wait until they had like this big old showing, like a CinemaCon, which is where all these announcements are going down. So yeah, I'm not surprised about another Ghostbusters movie coming out. I'm also not surprised about this Venom 3. Now, this movie was teased. It says it was the briefest of teases, just depicts logo and that's it. No, well, obviously there's no footage because the movie hasn't been filmed yet. The movie barely exists at all. We just know that it's a thing. We just know that it's happening. So, yeah, I mean, a third Venom movie makes sense. I mean, Venom Let There Be Carnage made over 500 million worldwide. Sure, it did a lot worse than the first Venom, but you gotta keep in mind, Venom 2 was released at a time where making a whole lot of money isn't as easy as it used to be. Like, I mean, at the time it had like the biggest pandemic opening ever at that moment with like $90 million before No Way Home decimated that number by like triple that number. And as at the end of No Way Home, post credit scene, Tom Hardy's Venom, sure he went back to his own universe, but that symbiote a little bit of that was still there, and it started to move. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that. I don't know what's gonna happen with Venom 3. I mean, we know Morbius is set in the same universe as Venom. We know that. And we know the post credit scene for Morbius, aka one of the worst, maybe the worst post credit scene of all time. You know, Michael Keaton's Vulture, who went from the MCU to this weird universe, is like he joins up with Morbius and is like, "Hey, I want to get a group of guys, and we're just gonna do shit," more or less. So I wonder if Venom's gonna be involved in that. I don't know. Maybe Venom's just gonna be doing his own thing, which would probably be for the best. And then what about? And then there's also like Craven the Hunter and that Moratu weird Bad Bunny movie. I don't know what Sony's plan is with this. I don't even think they know they have a solid foundation of a plan, but they're gonna continue going down this path. No more, but there was no Morbius 2 announcement, which I know is like the biggest disappointment of all time for all you Morbius stands out there, all you Morb heads. The Morbius sweep didn't get Sony's attention, so I don't know anymore. But yeah, Venom 3 got teased, and I imagine this movie's gonna come out in like 2023. That's what I imagined. Or at least 2024, in a few years, or maybe next year. I don't know. It should come out relatively soon. We'll probably hear something about it. Maybe a comic. Is Comic Con still happening? Maybe. It might. I don't know. We'll hear something in the future. So, yeah. That's that. Now it's time for everybody's favorite game. What will happen next? I don't know. April's done. May is set in stone. June is set in stone. July is more or less set in stone. August is dead. September looks pretty dead. October looks pretty dead, with like the exception of Black Adam and Halloween Ends. November is whatever. It should be fine. December should be fine. 2023, that's when things get goofy. I already mentioned the Craven the Hunter movie. Uh, blah blah blah. The Marvels, Aquaman 2, John Wick 4, Quiet Place movies, Super Mario Brothers, blah blah blah. Guardians 3, Fast X. And fun fact about Fast X, the director, he didn't leave the project, but he stepped down from directing. He's now producing the movie. And someone made a comment. They're like, Fast Exit. Where they use fast and then X and then it. And I'm just like, damn it, why didn't I think of that joke? I was like, ugh. So that happened. Then everything else here should be Coyote versus Acme. We can scratch that off and replace that with the Barbie movie. The Barbie movies go up against some really steep competition. I mean, we got Ant-Man 3, we got Mission Impossible 7, we got Madam Web, and even before that, Indiana Jones 5. Like, geez, like summer 2023 is gonna be white hot, judging by these movies, or at least some of these movies. Then like the rest is just like a big old mystery. um, so yeah, yeah, and not to mention all the movies that are like in the ether as we speak, including Coyote versus Acme. So yeah, yeah. Well, at this point, nothing in the near future will change. I can't imagine anything will change. At least any movie coming out in the next few months, this should stay put. So, yeah. Anywho, yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, share the whole drill. Want to check out more videos like this? I got a playlist on the homepage with all previous cancel episodes I made on the channel. This is the first time I mentioned any of these movies. I mean, I mentioned Ghostbusters in the past. I mentioned Venom in the past. I mentioned the Batman in the past, mainly for their predecessors. I mentioned all of them many times. So if you want to watch my episodes on those movies, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Venom 2, and the Batman, you can find them with relative ease. So you can go do that. And just watch all the episodes, all 121. Good 2 years of content. Go, I suggest you binge watch the whole thing because it paints a very interesting tale. So you can go do that. There's also box office predictions where I predict box office for movies. This weekend, I do memory. No one really cares about that. And yeah. But then next week, things will get interesting. It'll be the beginning of the summer movie season, as we're going to talk about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That should be quite the video, because that movie's expected to make big money. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. But if you want to watch any of the past prediction videos I made on the channel this year, you can go right ahead. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. April recap will come out first week of May, right before Doctor Strange 2. My man, I'm just thinking about that April video. There's so much to discuss. Morbius and Sonic 2 and Fantastic Beasts 3 and God, that's ooh. I can just tell that's going to be a lengthy video. So stay tuned for that. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I made on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.